Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on the Season 2 premiere of Humans Who Make Games, Adam Conover talks to comedian Ron Funches and Jean Goudon, creative director of the Assassin's Creed series. On Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone share a perfect recipe for the quarantined cook. This week on Profiles in Eccentricity, they cover the history of the Coruscant Unity cult, folks for whom a flat earth is ridiculous because they believe it's really a concave shell. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for our full list of shows, featuring hosts like Joe Coy, Amanda Seales, Jessica Chobot, and Jackie Johnson. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-hosts Arm and Dan. Benders, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Daddies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population U. Population Gould. Dana Gould. Welcome to the show.
I feel like I'm in the right place.
You are? Dumb People Town.
We shouted you out.
Okay, Dana, I think we've talked about this in the numerous times that we've hung out in airports on the way to festivals.
Or been on each other's shows.
Which, by the way, the notion of getting to an airport early and having just any chunk of time to do anything is not my favorite thing in the world because I'd rather be with my family or I'd rather do other stuff. Then we turn the corner and like you're there and I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Fine.
But it's
also
enjoyable. Thank you very much. I have the same feeling when I see you guys, but it's also because of this. Oh, good. I'm not going to have to riff for 2 hours.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well,
hey, adults.
Yeah.
How are you?
Here you're going to have to rip.
Yeah. No, this is
as is expected.
No, we definitely get into like real deep and honest discussions.
You just talk about stuff.
Yes.
Music.
Have a conversation.
I love it. Well, that is one of the great things that I do. Jay and I very much look up to you in terms of your ability to, even especially in your comedy, bring in a lot of very smart subjects. The problem is the world is getting dumber, or dumber's getting louder, or dumber's getting prouder, or all three.
I was just talking about this morning in a pitch that needs work.
I have not heard that.
You haven't spoken to his manager.
And that my favorite thing in comedy, specifically talking about comedy, is big, broad, dumb jokes that were clearly written by a smart person.
Yes.
And that there's a difference between a dumb joke a smart person wrote and a dumb joke a dumb person.
That's right. Yeah.
Someone has to do with intent. It's called intent.
Yes.
Yeah. When I was 10, I saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail when I was 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. And that sword fight changed my life.
Mm-hmm. So now you're making me want to show that to my 10-year-old son.
Yeah.
Who you've met.
Well, I'm damaged, so maybe you might want to wait. Although I don't think it would.
I think your drunk father waking you up in the middle of the night might have something to do with the damage. But
that's true. Yeah, I don't think Monty Python had anything to do with it.
Let's put the blame where it belongs.
That might have saved you, Dana.
But just like seeing like his arms cut off and blood gouting out, and
just a flesh wound.
But he's arguing, and this really intellectual argument. Hilarious. It's just that's a dumb smart joke.
That is dumb smart.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing in the world. And there's a difference.
Yeah.
And people need to know that. And to take it to a different level, I was listening to Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg?
I don't know.
Buttigieg. That's going to be a problem.
It is going to be a problem.
Can I just
almost as much of as his sexuality?
Yeah. One word. Gilligan. Can we just call him that? But it's like I listened to him talking. I was like, oh, he doesn't assume my knuckles are dragging on the ground.
Right.
That's right.
And it feels good.
It feels good to have that. Well, I just think
In other words, he's doomed.
Yeah, well,
I know.
listen, because the world is getting dumber.
So
and
we're trying to fight back.
we're trying to fight back with comedy. So what happens is these dumb things happen and the news reports them, and they are sort of all of our fans find these stories for us and they send them to Dan.
Right.
We have not heard them, but the only way to understand it and is to make fun of it. And so, Dan, do you got a story?
I do.
Let's jump in.
Are these all from Florida?
A
lot.
Many.
No, and our first one is nowhere near it.
Okay,
Wow.
good.
Our first story
So it's
sent in
spreading.
by Noah Wilcox at 2612. The 20 and the 12 are written out. The 6 is the number. Thank you, Noah.
Okay.
Salt Lake City.
Okay. That's some weird stuff. You've been to Salt Lake. You've done Wise Guys. Great club. Love that
Never
place.
been to Salt Lake.
You never been to Salt Lake
Really?
City?
Nope.
It's a great club there.
I've been to
Park City.
Park City.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
just a few miles up the road
Yeah.
from it. Salt Lake City can be weird.
Yeah, well,
It's all, what, 2.6 alcohol by volume, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that all their beer super low?
Yeah.
That and also I think you can't buy it on Sundays.
Also,
Not that
That's how Rochelle used to be.
By the way, I did not know that alcohol by volume was a thing until Monday night.
Really?
this past Monday night?
Yes.
Wow.
All right.
I had because I'm like a 1 beer a week
Yeah,
fella,
yeah.
and I had an Allagash triple
Okay.
or something.
Yep,
I
that's
thought,
That's
like,
a lot of
I didn't
alcohol.
know.
Yeah.
Didn't know there was a difference.
That'll get you.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a difference.
You found
That'll
out.
get you.
I bet you found out.
I was much funnier at the end of that.
Get this man a triple. All right, so.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
An Emery County man was charged Monday with marking his birthday by attempting to hit other vehicles on the road, mooning drivers, and flipping off a police
That's
officer.
the trifecta right there.
Is he marking his territory? Is that part of it? Like a dog?
I mean,
So he's trying to hit other
This is
motorists.
his
what are you doing for your,
celebration.
what are you doing for your birthday? What happened to the answer? Not much. Not much. Maybe dinner. Maybe dinner.
This is a misunderstanding of the concept live every day as if it were your last.
Right. Your last birthday.
I may never get another one of these.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
if
is
you
the dumb
keep
people
acting like
town
that, you
version
won't.
of live every day like it's your birthday.
Yeah. And everything there is nothing compared to the last one, which is think I'll flip off that cop.
Yeah.
Right.
How could that go wrong?
We say
So we say it in another episode that we recently did. We said Disney has Jiminy Cricket, which she kind of gave positive encouragement. In Dumb People Town, we have Jiminy Cracket.
it's a little cricket on your shoulder. Like,
hey, flip off that car. Hey, go moon him. Hey,
Throw that lamp.
hey, what'd she say to you? Hey, you could hit that car.
Steal that dog. Okay.
Jiminy
Stuff
Cricket.
off a bridge is fun.
Yeah.
Cement don't hurt. Okay.
We've all had that voice.
Yeah, Jiminy Cracket.
We just don't listen to it. This guy
this
did.
guy's fully.
Now that I've had a tray of lasagna, think I'll try the moon bounce.
hey, you can try it.
I don't know if the person picks the dumb or the name does. It's kind of like the sorting hat.
Yeah.
But this person's name, whose birthday it was, Dennis Dwayne Butler.
There you go.
DDB. DDB. Double D.
Double D.
Double
and a
D.
B, and brought it.
Named after both his dads, Dennis Dwayne Butler.
And the person who worked for the family.
My mom said there's front door daddy and back door daddy, but I don't know who's who.
Right.
One of them
You
Dennis
talking
and one
about,
of
you
them.
talking about the house, Mom? Sure, the house. Sure, the house. You heard House Mom?
Backdoor Daddy starting this fall on TV Land. Jerry Van Dyke is Backdoor Daddy.
Backdoor Daddy just won an AVN award.
That would be the show Jim Morrison would have done as a sitcom had he survived.
That's right, Backdoor Daddy.
Yeah. Chuck Lorre has teamed up with Jim Morrison for Backdoor Daddy.
Look at the mess Backdoor Daddy gets into this week.
Backdoor Daddy's stuck in an elevator with the mayor.
I'm guaranteeing you right now in the Valley, they're shooting an amateur version of Backdoor Daddy.
Backdoor Daddy has to get made.
I bet Backdoor Daddy exists.
Indians scattered on the lawn breathing.
Backdoor Daddy slowly unlocks the screen. Anyway.
Dennis Dwayne Butler of Moore. I imagine that's Moore, Utah,
Yep.
Moore, is charged in 7th District Court with assault on a police officer, a second-degree felony, 3 counts of aggravated assault, and failing to stop for police, plus lewdness and theft. Let's get into it. On Friday afternoon, and you know his birthday started in the morning.
Yeah.
Or the night before. Yeah. It's midnight! Our clocks are a little fast. Pour it.
TGIF.
Midnight on the East Coast.
I'm special. I was born. Okay, let's break this down. Let's break this down.
Yeah. Side note question for real life. Unlike movies and TV shows, have any of you ever been at a bar where they gave you the bottle? Like, you know when somebody's like celebrating something or had a bad day and the bartender's like, here.
No.
It's another thing in movies and TV shows. They're like, what do you have? And they go, a beer. And I'm always like, I understand there's like, we haven't been cleared to say fucking Heineken.
Budweiser.
But you can at least be like, Pilsner. Like, just say, like, give me a, I don't know, give me a Pilsner.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
He says I know he says leave the bottle in High Plains Drifter.
Yes.
But that's not the worst thing he does in that movie. If you've seen that movie recently.
Very true.
That is
very true.
That movie does not age well.
No. Neither does The Strangers.
No, or Manhattan.
Manhattan does not age well.
Or Thriller.
Yeah, that does not age well.
None of it.
It does not age well. Yeah.
Oh man!
On Friday afternoon, which was Butler's birthday.
Wait, before we say it, please, can you remember the tweet you did about Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I know it
Please
right
say
now.
it. Please say it because I love it so much.
Leaving Neverland. Hard to believe a glow-in-the-dark skeleton who dressed like Napoleon and lived alone in an abandoned amusement park with other people's children and a feral chimp could have such a freaky dark side.
Oh my God, Dana, I have a similar joke to this.
All right, let's go.
No.
Let's go. No, let's do it.
Mine is nowhere near as good.
I love that so much.
We got into a
Got a lot of
conversation.
play, that
We
one.
got into a conversation once here with these three guys about all these documentaries where people let adults sleep with their kids and then it goes terribly wrong. And I said to Jason and Randy, I'm like, you guys, do you love me? Do you love me as a person? They're like,
course,
yes.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, I'm a good guy, right?
You're a great guy.
That's all true.
Yeah.
And I have no business sleeping with your
Not
kids.
in the bed with my
Don't
kids.
even let me sleep
Yeah.
with your
No.
kids. And
Yeah.
I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
So I have this whole bit and I talk
You
about
have a good wine cellar? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Do you do charity work?
Doesn't
No
matter.
reason for you to
Doesn't
sleep with
matter.
the kids.
Doesn't matter.
Even all the kids sleeping together. They can have their own sleeping bags.
you
Nobody
know
gets
what?
hurt. But I have this joke where I say about leaving Neverland.
Neverland.
I say,
Had he left Netherland, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble.
Yeah. I said, who knew? Who knew the guy who looks like the final boss in an animated movie and dressed like he's in an at-home production of Pinocchio was a bad guy, something like that. Yeah,
It's that.
Same thing.
It-
but yours is
Phenomenal. And I love it.
way
Well,
punched up
that's-
to
It's
better.
all good. They're both funny. They're all funny. Hard to believe a man who looked like a photo negative of Scatman Crothers' corpse could have such a terrible dark side. Yeah, it's just a biological impulse. Adult that's not me behind a locked door with my kid, not acceptable.
Hey, by the
The
way,
end.
like the creepiest
end.
thing to me was like he had a 7-hour phone conversation
Yeah.
with my 7-year-old.
Nope, not good.
Hey, here's something that never happens. Anybody having a 7-hour conversation with your 7-year-old. You've had kids?
Right.
Yeah.
You can't talk to a 7-year-old.
No one who didn't give birth or who didn't parent you or your wife has any business saying, "Can I talk to your daughter on the phone?"
Nope.
Yeah.
No adult
Yeah.
needs to talk to anybody's kid on the phone. Maybe an aunt and uncle.
Yeah, and a grandparent.
But grandparents
but
are. That's what I'm saying.
But
If they
it's-
parented you, they can talk to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's bizarre, and the weirdest thing, and not to lead us down this.
We can always
tradition,
go. We
was
can go
this.
anywhere.
Okay, the onslaught of email defending him,
I know.
and it's one of those things where, and there are other cases like this. So, you know, all the stuff that isn't even debated,
Right.
is like that's fine,
Right.
But
you know,
right.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
can't stand that
That's right.
deniability. Let's go back to Dennis Dwayne Butler.
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Is he alive still?
Well, on Friday afternoon, which was
birthday.
Butler's birthday, according to court records.
She told everyone.
That's what I love. No, it literally says, according to court records.
So he
Which
so he
they're
told
like,
the court.
Birthday.
You know you're into some shit when they're like, you say it's your birthday, we're
At
going
the
to go to
court.
the courthouse and check this out.
Well, no, like that is actually a thing. I don't know if you watched the Grammys this year, but Diana Ross came out and she sang, this is what the Grammys took place in February something,
Yeah.
and she did her song and made everyone stand up made everyone stand up and said, "It's my birthday. Say happy birthday to me." And then you look online and look it up. Her birthday's in March.
Shut up.
Yeah. She made people say like happy birthday to her, and her birthday's in March.
That's
Christopher
Diane.
Walken, when he's bored, will go into the makeup trailer in the morning and go like, "Don't tell anybody, but it's my birthday." So because at 4, he knows at 4 there'll be a cake.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
That's fantastic.
That's
Learn
good.
that on the set of Deer Hunter, everyone.
Yep.
My friend did those weird angel movies, the War of the Good Angels and the Bad Angels fighting each other. He was in those, and he goes.
He kept
that
doing
was
it.
that was the other famous story. That one day they couldn't find him, and they looked, and he was like knee deep in water and like a river across the road. And they went, "Chris, what's going on?" And they went, "Today I am an alligator."
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great.
We still need you for that shot.
Yep.
You're lucky you arrived in the 70s when all this was tolerable.
Yep.
You're grandfathered into this behavior.
Yeah, you're okay with it.
That's me and Chris.
Where was I? Okay.
That's really funny.
On his birthday, according to court records, he attempted to hit 3 trucks with his own vehicle on a dirt road. Now, if your truck's on a dirt road,
Something's wrong already.
Yeah,
If
you're open to the universe is coming for
Someone's
you.
going to hit you.
Right.
And you better expect it.
Those vehicles had to swerve from the road from being hit. Oh, they were just driving.
Well, they were driving on a
I
dirt
guess,
road.
yeah. The drivers wrote in a sworn statement that the man tried to hit them and at one point ripped a sign that belongs to Castle Valley Outdoors off a post and stole it. There's
birthday.
somebody canceled plans on Dennis Dwayne Moore,
the
and he
road-
is determined to be like, then I'll make it my day.
I have to say, my kids, when it's their birthday, they
Do
there
think they're
is
above
a
the
sense
law.
of
They do think they're above the
They
law.
feel like
Do
they
I
have
have to go to school
diplomatic
today?
immunity.
Can I stay up late? Do I have to go to school?
It's
Can I
more
hit
subtle.
some trucks on a dirt road?
Can I rip a sign?
How far do you think we'd have to go to find a dirt road in California
So,
from where we are right
Joshua
now?
Tree. I was driving on a dirt road in
okay.
Joshua
Yep,
Tree,
yep.
and by the way, you can't drive fast on a dirt road.
No.
there are giant like valleys that ruin your car. So like, in order for him to scare people, he had to be going at a speed that was like 15 miles an hour.
But he still tried to hit him.
And also scaring people that are driving a truck on a dirt road. It's not like, okay, dear, let's take the truck out on the dirt road. I mean, these are probably all real men. Not
And
like
women.
any of
Dana,
us.
where'd you grow up?
And women.
Where'd you grow up?
Massachusetts.
Do you guys? I don't know in Sklar's how much you got out of Kriv to Kiev.
I have been driven through the woods in the back of an open pickup truck at night by a drunk person.
No, me too.
Yeah, so
And,
like
and
I've-
you're the whole time you're like, please don't turn that hard.
Yeah.
Do not.
Oh no, I was 9. I was like, this is normal. It's just you
But I was
know.
gonna ask if you did many gravel roads because around
Yeah,
our road,
we
we had
had
a lot of gravel.
So
roads.
we did a ton, and we used to. We were from St. Louis, and our dad would take us fishing, and there were places in little lakes in the center of Missouri,
Yeah.
and you would go off once you went off like Interstate 55,
Yep.
like you were then on dirt roads
Yeah.
or gravel roads.
You're
for
on
like-
roads that are
Yeah.
just letters,
We were-
like
Right.
M and
Oh, yes.
double
Yeah.
M and
Yes.
E, and then you
and
get
that's
on the
gravel, and then it's dirt, and then you're at the pond.
I remember so stupid. We were in high school and we would go on these gravel roads and go up to like easily just over 100 miles per hour.
Aren't you also from Massachusetts?
No,
Northern
he's from-
Illinois, little farm town called Rochelle. And you get that fast on a gravel road, you essentially, your back wheels are just on whatever your front wheels have kicked up, and you could like shift your weight really fast and feel the whole car kind of not really be on the road.
You have no
It's just
grip.
so
You have no
stupid.
traction.
None.
dumb things dumb people do. Well, so this
That was
guy
one of
was
them.
like taking what our kids take with their birthday. Like, oh, I can do anything.
I can do anything.
The
It's
world
my
is-
birthday.
He's added a driver's license.
Yes. Yes.
He's taking away pants.
He's like girls who came to our comedy show in Louisville. Remember that girl and 20 people? And they
It's
all
my birthday.
They talked the whole time, and we were like, "You can't talk at the show." And they're like, "It's her birthday," and we're like, "You can't talk."
That's
at
not
the
an
show.
excuse. That's,
That is
You
not
cannot
a
have a
defense.
conversation.
That
Yeah.
is not a defense.
Two different
That's
sentences.
just stupid. Yeah.
But I love that he stole a sign and that they're like, the sign belongs to Castle Valley Outdoors. He stole it off a post. How long did he want that sign?
Forever.
Yeah,
A long time.
forever.
It's his birthday.
I have to say, there is like a Camping World sign on the 5 freeway out there
That you've been eyeballing
It
for
is
a
a
while?
beautiful sign. If I got my hands on that sign, it is just
If you got drunk on your birthday,
It is the sunset on the sign is gorgeous. I'm just saying.
They also said at one point the man took his pants down and bent over, showing his bare buttocks to them. This is his day, guys.
Is this Finding Neverland? Or Leaving Neverland?
While speaking to one of those drivers, an Emory County Sheriff's deputy noticed a vehicle coming towards him. The deputy turned the overhead lights on his patrol car on, but the driver kept coming. The driver was traveling 58 miles per hour at that point. How the cop knew this, I do not know.
He held up a gun. Put up a gun on
in his
radar.
car, you think?
I don't know.
He had
Maybe
to.
He probably had a radar gun.
Or he just said it, and they went, well, you're a cop. We're in court. Whatever you say
it's your
goes.
birthday. If you say you were going 58, you were going 58. As the vehicle,
How much you want to bet when he lowered his pants and exposed his buttocks, that was not the phraseology used by the witness?
No, not at all. Not at all. Hey, that motherfucker dropped trout. I guess we're in Salt Lake.
He lowered his trousers and exposed his buttock.
As the vehicle got closer, it did not slow down, and it was going to hit me. So I moved my vehicle almost all the way off the road to the right as the driver sped past me, holding up a middle finger on one hand. Okay.
This guy.
Listen to this. I'm going to read this sentence. I'm going to read this. You want to talk about
people from Mars, like acknowledging like a drunken behavior.
It's worse. It's worse. The driver sped past me. I'm going to read it verbatim. Sped past me, holding up a middle finger on one hand toward me, commonly known as flipping someone off. The deputy wrote in the report. What is this, a Greenlee?
Well, the idea...
It's Utah, correct?
Yeah.
These people might be LDS.
They may not know. They may not know.
The deputy then chased Butler with speeds reaching up to 100 miles per hour. You know, you're giving him the birthday dream he wanted, right?
If he goes fast enough, he travels back in time, wakes up the next morning.
It's his birthday all over again.
This is my favorite sentence. The chase ended when Butler drove to his home in Moore, parked, and then ran into a shed. Not his home. Not his home.
Please tell me that when he entered the shed, no matter how close the cop was behind him, a little voice in his head went, safe.
Yes. I'm on Ghoul. You can't touch me, dude.
Can't touch me.
And I'm on Ghoul.
Yep.
I'm on Ghoul right now.
I'm on Ghoul.
I'm on home base.
Can't touch me. Can't touch me.
After several minutes.
Several
Hey,
minutes.
man. I saw you go in the shed.
Nuh-uh.
We all know you're in there.
It's my birthday.
The only person in this shed is a talking lawnmower who happens to be having a birthday.
Sir, I doubt that's a lawnmower. I think that's you. I think that's you in there. Did you give me the finger?
Well, you better come in and see a talking lawnmower that looks a lot like a person. That's what you're going to see.
Okay, I'd rather you came out, and if there's a lawnmower, can the lawnmower open the door?
Lawnmowers look like people. I'm just warning you now.
Well, let me be the judge of
And then
it.
he opens the door and the cop goes, damned if he wasn't right.
Hello, lawnmower. Have
Hey,
you seen the
Clyde,
man?
you got to see this.
Lawnmower looked just like him.
We never caught the guy, but this lawnmower, he's good at his job.
Talking like a bird.
So he runs into his shed. After several minutes, the deputy was able to talk Butler into peacefully surrendering. That's a long time to talk to somebody in the middle of a crime. You're taking even a 3-minute break is long.
Yeah, and a pissed off cop.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
who
they
just
were
almost got hit and was given the bird.
Yeah, I think they were just happy they were off the road. They're like, what else can happen here?
Yeah, let himself tire himself out in that shed.
He's like a
But
golden
then there's
retriever.
there's a moment where you're like, what's he got in the shed?
That's
What's he
right.
going to come out with from that shed? Like, there's a lot of fear probably going
Kudos
on.
to the cop then who was like, I'm just going to talk through this.
Talking him out.
Guy. You know, he was like, nobody came to your party? Let's get into it, man. Did no one come to your party?
What's happening
Hey,
here?
I get it, man. Hey,
You know you get a free
Put
meal
the
at
lawnmower-
Applebee's?
So I was at a
you do.
kid's birthday party. I've talked about this on this before, but in our neighborhood with
Where they brought
the
out a
police
huge-
officer who patrols Laurel Canyon. All right? So he was telling me like, yeah, this is my area, and he said.
Well, he was just at the party. Or he was a cop for the party.
He was a friend of the person who was having the party.
Okay.
And so he was, my friend said to this guy, tell him your theory on how you could deal with crazy people in LA. And I'm like, I got to hear this theory. And he said, if we had tiny bags of Doritos, we wouldn't have any problems in the city. Like if cops could carry a trunk full of Doritos. I'm like, why? He's like, I cannot tell you how many times there call about a crazy guy in a parking lot or whatever is bothering people. I show up with a bag of Doritos. I'm like, hey, man, why don't you take these Doritos, put down whatever you're holding and take these Doritos, and we're just going to have a talk about this, all right? Have some Doritos. Every single time they take it,
so smart.
every single time they're calm, it like calms them down. They get something
and they
from
feel
me.
like they owe you something.
They feel like, okay, this guy's not bad.
You also change the script. You change the script of how that's supposed to go.
Yes.
He's like, bags of Doritos. It's so easy.
Tiny bags of
We
Doritos.
could do this.
Yep.
Dorito diplomacy.
Kevin Fitzgerald, who we know from Denver, who he was a bouncer for the Rolling Stones in the 70s and 80s, and they go and there was a guy in the audience that was out of control. They would go up and go like, "Hey, where'd you park?"
Oh, that's
and
great.
like, what? Boom!
That's a great question.
During the conversation with the driver,
Where'd you park?
He goes, my brother, he did it with his brother. He goes, I would ask him where they parked. My brother would ask, is it soup yet? And then they had these saps, and they would just pop them behind the ear. They'd fall down and throw up because you pop behind the ear, they lose. And then they could go to the cops. This guy's drunk. Get him out of here.
Whoa. Amazing.
It's genius.
Smarter than getting a whole another fight going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
During the conversation with the driver, when he was in the shed, he told me he did not care who I was and what I wanted, and that's why he wouldn't stop for me. You understand? I don't follow your law.
Yeah, he's got a point.
He does have a point.
I am on birthday time.
What?
The man,
Birthday time.
that's great.
Plus, you're not a cop. You're a set of signals that my eye is telling my brain is a cop.
The man also acknowledged that he would have hit him
That
if
would
he
be an
hadn't
amazing
moved.
analysis.
Did you hear that? The guy said he would have hit him if he hadn't moved. I would have hit you. Like, okay, well,
That's
Again,
not
you're
something you tell
You're
a
not
cop.
helping your case.
yeah, at all. What's
ma-
a case? Nope, don't worry about it.
You're in it.
Okay, lawnmower, let's go. We'll get out of here on this. What birthday do you guys think he was celebrating?
How old
How
is this guy?
is this man? You are a guest, Dana. You can go first, Tig, or third.
Tig was in the slot between the two of us guessing. so.
I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I'm going to say he's 27.
27 years old.
That's
Jason,
a
Randy?
good guess, Jay.
He's 60. This guy's 60 years old.
88.
Yeah, no, I think he's 60.
Okay.
I understand.
It's in
I
the
think he's
twilight of his
45.
45.
This is a guy who things have not gone well.
Yeah,
he
things have not
realized he has a very few birthdays left that he can control.
Okay. One of you is in the right decade.
Okay, good. I
right.
like that.
The man who celebrated his birthday his way, mooning people, almost causing accidents, flipping off a cop, and hiding in a shed, which is a full day.
Yeah.
That's a
Full
nap.
day.
That's a nap.
Yeah.
More than I
Stole
did on
a
our
sign. I
birthday.
forgot he stole a
That's
sign.
called
Stole a
earning
sign.
your cake.
Yeah, exactly.
And eating it too.
And some Neapolitan ice cream if it's me. He is 66 years old.
Oh, Jay!
I knew it. I
Jay.
saw him.
Jay,
in
that
my
is-
mind, I saw him.
That is amazing. Oh my God! The
Thank
good
you.
news is he looked like he was 88.
Yeah.
All right. there you-
So it was Indian scattered on the highway bleeding. Ghost crowd the young child's fragile eggshell mind.
That's fantastic.
Old Jim Morrison. This
Old
is
Jim
us
Morrison,
doing
yeah.
like if Jim Morrison was alive.
Backdoor Daddy.
That's
Backdoor
Jim.
Backdoor Daddy.
When Jim lived enjoying the traveling Wilburys.
Which who made that statement? Wasn't
Neil Brennan
Brennan?
said the
Neil
traveling
Brennan,
Wilburys.
He gave all their ages.
Yeah, they
when
were
they
like
started.
45.
Oh, they're all younger than we are.
42,
30,
41.
38.
Yeah.
Roy Orbison was the oldest, and he was like 49.
Yeah, I
was like
know.
51.
There's a photo of them with their ages on them, and it's very
Yeah.
depressing.
God damn it!
I'm doing a tour this spring with Bobcat Goldthwait, and we wanted to call it the Hilarious Wilburys.
I mean, Dana.
Dana, you have to and use all of their lettering. All right, we're gonna take a break right now. We come back more with Dana Gould. This is Dumb People Down.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
It's a trying time that challenges all of our basic assumptions. However, one thing that brings us all together is our common humanity. Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges. And Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format. Plus, tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Teams of all shapes and sizes and companies like Google, Fender, and even Costco all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. No matter what device you're using, computer, tablet, or phone, Trello syncs across all of them, so you can stay up to date on all the things your team cares about. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
Hey guys, Sklar Brothers back with Daniel Van Kirk, Dumb People Town with Dana Gould, and we want to let people know about your tour.
With Bobcat Goldthwait, I cannot think
two
of
our
a better
favorite
show.
comics.
Oh my god!
So each of you guys do an hour. You switch off.
We do all each do like 40 minutes. It's
Okay.
like, look, Statler and Waldorf are not going to walk off the television set and
No.
come to your town.
No.
So
Right.
Bobcat and I are doing
There
it.
you go.
I love
When does
it.
it start?
It starts in the very beginning of May, and we're going all over the place. Go to danagould.com.
What kind of venues do you guys plan?
There's small theaters.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's phenomenal.
This is a show
One
you
night
have
in,
to watch.
it's like we're doing Washington D. Nashville one night, Pontiac, Michigan one night,
Yep.
Chicago one night.
Yep.
Where
great.
it's actually.
If this
doing a
tour
tour.
comes to see you nearby your town, please go see it. You'll be supporting A, two good friends of ours, and B,
amazing comics.
you will thank us because you will be getting a great night of comedy.
The show is called "It's the Show with
with
Two
Two
Heads." Rejected titles included the hilarious Will Berries,
I love that idea.
the middle-aged white guys of comedy.
Perfect. That's
We're touring anyway. Was one.
it's my birthday.
It's my birthday.
Come on out.
would have given you anything.
It's definitely something you want to see. You can also see Dana at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. Or is this coming out?
I have
after
no
that?
idea.
No, this comes out this Tuesday. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can
Okay.
check in
Yeah,
at the
we'll
Moon
all
Tower.
be there
We
this
will
week.
all be
I'll be
there.
there.
We will all hang out.
Yes.
So enjoy that.
Yeah, I think we're on a show together.
The only time I ever did Javier Bardem, I believe. Oh, that was at Sketchfest.
Yes.
Yes.
You were so great.
That was the only time I've done that impression.
Really? It was phenomenal. Dana joined me on one of the Wahlberg solutions back in the day of doing that, talking about 2 hours of riffing.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and the world getting dumber. We would just
Yeah.
take news topics and then
I had just seen Skyfall, and
Yeah.
I thought I will just talk like that for 2 hours.
it was so much fun.
Phenomenal.
We
You're in
have to befriend our monkeys.
Dude, I was in Planet of the Apes. Do not trust those monkeys, dude.
Dude, you're not going to believe it. Hilarious. All right, should we jump into another story?
Let's do it.
Let's
Ready?
do it.
Sent in by Derek Shipley at Derek Shipley.
Hello.
Sends in a lot of good ones.
DERICKSHIPLEY. My friends, we have a Greenlee.
Okay, so now let us explain this to you what this is.
Yes, from the
Will-
TC Palm.
Will Greenlee, right?
Is a quote unquote journalist.
Is it Will Greenlee?
Yes.
Will Greenlee is a quote-unquote journalist, writes for the TC Palm.
Oftentimes he will explain things
That
to
don't need to be explained.
He writes for the
TC Palm, which is like...
Palm Beaches.
not Palm Beach,
Treasure
it's
Coast
Treasure
Palm.
Coast
Treasure Coast Palm.
Or
Okay,
Terry
in, Flor-
Crews.
in Florida.
In Florida.
Yes, of course.
He covers the weird news. Now, he also was...
He's the Carl Kolchak of.
Yes. He also, and this is crazy, was one of the people that working with USA Today to break the Robert Kraft sex trafficking
Okay.
massage parlor story.
allegedly
So
thing.
that is his other. But in this
Not
world,
the worst rich white guy sex trafficking story in that area.
I know.
Agreed.
Unbelievable.
And he likes to let people know about that.
Yeah.
But this is a reporter who's done many stories on here. Now, this is our theory, is that Will Greenlee has 1,500 words to fill. These stories take to about 900 words. So what he does is he over-explains things that you do not need. Now,
and he does it so much. Dan has created
a game. This is the most fun thing to
where
play.
Dan sometimes will over-explain a detail.
And we have to decide, is that Dan doing it
Or is
is
it
Greenlee?
Greenlee? Oh,
Okay. So
wonderful.
now you understand. Quickly you'll understand. how
I
this
love
works.
this.
Okay.
Okay. Here we Let me find it.
Get it.
Okay, we're good. Here we go. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Sent in by Derek Shipley, Indian River County. Matthew Anzaldi, Anzaldi.
I thought it was Matthew and Zaldi.
It's like
It's a band.
Pat and Oswald.
Pat and Oswald.
Matthew Anzaldi must have been really, he went all caps. Not very often you see a journalist go all caps
No,
in a
really,
published.
it's true.
He went
That got
really.
by the copy editor and everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Matthew Anzaldi must have been really thirsty. Anzaldi, 25, told Indian River County Sheriff's investigators January 28th he'd been driving recklessly, passing cars on the shoulder, and speeding because he was parched and wanted a Pepsi.
Okay.
Don't even want-
Weird choice, the Pepsi. I mean,
Our joke in our old special, didn't we say Pepsi's
and it's
slogan?
not even a joke. It's a fucking way of life.
It is the way of life.
Yeah.
Pepsi's new slogan should be like, "Will Pepsi work? All we have is Pepsi." Is that okay?
okay?
So
Is
sorry.
Pepsi
So
okay?
sorry.
Is Pepsi okay?
Is
Will that
Pepsi
work?
okay?
Will that work? Is that all right?
That's funny.
It is so true. Like when I go into a place and I get a Jack and Coke, they're like, Pepsi okay? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
all the Jameson
Is
and
it
ginger.
okay?
That was no Coke Pepsi was also the other
no Coke.
great
Yes,
SNL thing.
yeah,
No Coke
yeah,
Pepsi.
no Coke Pepsi.
Only Pepsi.
Yeah,
Billy
no Coke Pepsi.
Billy Goat Tavern.
Pepsi.
Only Pepsi.
What could be called the case of the dry-mouthed driver began, you're blowing it up a little bit, Will, began at about 2:09 p.m.
I hate when they do that.
They do about approximately
Case
for
of the
very
dry mouth
specific
driver
times.
rejected Hardy Boys Mysteries.
I loved the Hardy Boys when I was a kid.
Case of the
Do you think they still hold up?
I
If you
think
gave
they
them
do.
to like an 11-year-old boy or girl,
I'll report back
I will
to you.
say this.
I just saw a girl. I was down in Atlanta working, and I was at a little vintage comic book store, and I saw this couple with a little girl, and she had an armload of hardcover Nancy Drew books. that she was buying,
Hell yeah.
And I was a puddle.
That's
You
just
were
your
great parents. You're a great wife.
Well, I just think like the Hardy Boys, like
I want to call her and talk to her on the phone for 7 hours.
no, Dana, no, she's
We
too-
both love mystery.
no, Dana.
That's not so appropriate.
I think
know
like
you have
most
good
Hardy
intentions.
Boys stories, at some point the plot took them into a cave.
It did. I wanted to do
Today,
the
that is True Detective.
True Detective. I want to do a Hardy Boy story where I believe Joe is older and Joe hits puberty just before Frank, and it's like Portnoy's complaint, like he doesn't understand why Joe is always disappearing into the bathroom, or like why are you
need to get
smelling
on the-
Nancy Drew's sweater?
We need to get on the knocking on the door. We need to go.
We have to solve this mystery.
Stop talking.
Shut the fuck up.
Stop talking.
I can't hear your voice while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Doing what?
Nothing.
Do you want this veal? I can't eat it now. Sure.
So weird. Because like in 1 month, he becomes he's
what
an adult. He's an adult. And the
what
other one
happens.
is
He's got a Hardy Boy and a hard man.
That's right. Speaking of which, hilarious thing. This will strike terror into your heart when you think about it. Bob's big boy. Bob did not have any sons. Okay, let's go.
Oh, Jesus.
Bob's big boy. Okay. 209, case of the parts driver.
Yes.
Yes. What could easily call the case of the dry mouth driver began around 2:09 p.m. with a call about a reckless Toyota pickup traveling south on US 1 near the 9900 block. Toyota is a motor corporation which produces vehicles under 5 brands, including the Toyota brand, Hino, Lexus, Rans, and I don't even know how to say this, Daihatsu.
Daihatsu. Yeah.
My question for you guys, who wrote that?
that
Will
you, Dan,
Greenlee
or
or
Dan
Daniel
Van-
Van Kirk, who wanted you to know specifically what Toyota was?
is.
I'm going to say DVK.
Okay. Jay?
Jason Aran?
I think that's Greenlee.
I think that's Danny looked it up on Wikipedia.
Okay. That was written by Daniel Van Kirk.
You guys got it.
Did not write it off Wikipedia that time.
The Greenlee also could also be called a Maddow.
A Maddow.
Yeah, she does
Because
a
Rachel
lot
Maddow
of
will
asides.
also, she will start a
a lot
story
of
about,
incidentallys. Incidentally.
she'll start a story about Julian Assange that begins with the Bronze Age, the early smelting of minerals.
Very
By the
true.
way, Julian Assange, someone sent me and said he's 47. I'm like, he looks worse than the traveling Wilburys.
He does.
All right.
A deputy.
Homeless Santa, Julian Assange.
Strip mall Santa.
They were called as the Toyota pickup was traveling south on US 1. A deputy spotted a vehicle matching the description, saying it ran a red light and nearly struck other motorists. Investigators say the Toyota traveled fast and passed vehicles on the shoulder. There's so many times where I oscillate
you've
between
seen that. You've
I know
seen that.
I oscillate between being like you lived that life because none of us have the fucking balls to do it, and feeling like I hate you.
Right.
I hate him.
Because you've been in traffic and then just seen someone just whip down
yeah,
the shoulder.
yeah.
Yes.
And you're like, something's going to happen.
Yeah. I always go to they're rushing someone to the hospital.
And then you feel better. Then you're not mad at them.
Yeah, at least that's, and also it's like you're gonna make it worse. You might kill them.
You're
first.
right. Sure, too.
You're trying
But
to
yeah,
save
I
someone.
always try to go like if my kid was choking on or something, I would be
drive it
doing
there.
that.
We'd be, yeah.
Because what other reason would you be?
I mean, it's not because you want a Pepsi.
I want a Pepsi.
See, you're parched. I get it.
I want a Coke, but not a Coke.
I want a Coke-like product.
The Toyota eventually stopped.
I need a cola.
Popular cola-based beverage.
You know
Once on The Simpsons, they said that we couldn't use the word frisbee What?
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's a...
So Bart runs around going, my novelty flying disc.
It forced it into a great joke.
He made it a great joke.
Pepsi was part of one of my favorite Simpsons jokes. I love you, Pepsi.
Oh, yeah.
I love you,
Pepsi.
Pepsi. Peppy.
The Toyota eventually stopped, and the driver, identified as Anzaldi, said he was driving recklessly due to being thirsty and wanted a Pepsi.
Perfectly good excuse.
Available in bottles and cans, Pepsi is a sweet, non-alcoholic beverage known as a soft drink. Who wrote that? Will Greenlee or me? This is someone explaining what Pepsi is in 2019.
Everything says you wrote it, but now I'm thinking.
See, this
It's
is
a
like
fa-
this,
yeah,
this
this
is why
is
this
the
game
mind
is
game.
diabolical.
You're in my head now.
I'm scared in here.
He got in my head.
It's diabolical.
I can see how he would
You
write
can go
that
last,
trying
too.
to be funny.
You can go last too if you want to hear what.
No.
Okay.
Oh, man up.
Okay.
I'm gonna go contrary to my impulse and say Greenlee wrote that.
Okay.
I think it's Greenlee too.
Okay. Jason?
That's Dan.
By the way, and I will say this: there have been full Greenlee articles where Dan has done all of them.
And none of them.
And none of them.
Yeah.
So like there.
That's Dan.
Available in bottles and cans, Pepsi is a sweet, non-alcoholic beverage known as a soft drink. Was written by Will Greenlee.
Oh, right here. Dana and I are 2 for 2.
Wow.
Jay, you're 0 for 2.
I'm terrible at this game.
Its roots stretch to 1898 when chemist Caleb Bradham created Pepsi Cola, a carbonated cola drink crafted to refresh and energize customers of his New Bern, North Carolina drugstore. According to a company website, Pepsi was the first major cola to offer a zero-calorie option with Diet Pepsi introduced in 1964. Who wrote that?
That is Greenlee still. That's
or me?
Still Greenlee.
It's Greenlee still.
Still Greenlee.
Oh yeah, no, it's still Greenlee.
It's Greenlee.
I can tell you guys, that was Will Greenlee.
Yeah.
You doubled
it.
down
Does he get to-
on telling you what Pepsi is.
By the way,
Does
this
he get to Joan Crawford?
I don't think so.
Do we
gets
know
to the
the Joan
Bronze Age.
Crawford? We all know the Joan
What's
Crawford.
the Joan Crawford Pepsi?
Joan
thing?
Crawford in the late '60s was married to in the mid '60s, early '60s was married to like the head of Pepsi, the CEO of Pepsi, and on the set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, took out the Coke machine that was on the soundstage and installed a Pepsi machine.
No.
And drove Betty Davis crazy. And Betty Davis would always walk around with a bottle of Coke
No
just
way.
to annoy Joan Crawford.
That's
and the best
fantastic.
news about that is that Joan Crawford then took that out on her daughter. Went home.
If I see Betty Davis with one more Coke, my daughter's getting hit in the back of the thigh with a wire coat hanger. Yes. Joan and Bet, do not get me started. Those are 2 kittens that knew how to scratch.
Remember that special that was on recently?
I loved it. It was all
so
true.
Have you started the Fosse one yet?
No.
I heard it's very good.
I don't know those people enough.
I know that's the only critique of it is it might be a little
Yeah.
too inside
It's not-
baseball
yeah,
that you'd
it's-
watch and be like, I don't know. I'm
It
not
can't
a
be
reference
news
point.
to you. You have to have some vague like reference point for
Yeah,
it
yeah,
in order
yeah.
to
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So now that we know everything about Pepsi and Diet Pepsi. Meanwhile, Anzaldi also said he thought he heard bullets striking his pickup, though he said they also could have been rocks. Yeah, dude, you were off road. I bet there wasn't a cleared roadway where you were driving.
You know what would be a good one of those specials? There's a book called Mutual Contempt. 2 people who hated each other.
Who would that be?
Lyndon Johnson and Robert Kennedy.
Really?
Despised each other.
Ooh,
and the book about them is called Mutual Contempt.
Dana, pitch that.
You have to
Write that.
Make that.
The newest.
I gotta go.
Mail it to yourself.
This newest Fosse thing is not Ryan Murphy. It's like it looks
Oh, it's
like
not?
it. Yeah. So they're taking projects from other people. doing
Dana,
it.
mutual contempt.
I know.
Dana.
Could happen.
Dana
Lakeshore-
owns that.
I happen to
Anybody
know
listening?
Lakeshore Entertainment is controlling that.
Maybe I've looked into it.
You should. You should.
It's an amazing story, and I'll just say this: a lot of LBJ's decisions regarding how the war in Vietnam were prosecuted
Was to spite.
were not what was best for the situation, but what Robert Kennedy could not criticize because he would never criticize something that his brother
Set
also
up.
supported.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
And we all know that Lyndon Johnson was crazy, as by the famous recorded phone call with the president of Hagar Slacks, which if you've never...
I don't know.
Well, it's easily gettable. You should drop it in right here.
Okay, we'll
He
drop it
calls
in.
the president of Hagar Slacks from the White House.
Okay.
He's the president of the United States. I need a pair of trousers. Y'all made me some trousers, and the problem is they cut me down. I need about an inch because I go up and down 10 pounds a month, and I need some extra fabric down there because it cuts me down where my nutsack meets my bunghole.
This is a real conversation.
President of the United States.
Anybody could have made this call for
President of the
him.
United States. And then at the end he goes, now I don't have a lot of money. He tries to get them for free. Shut up! He calls from the Oval Office trying to get Hagar Slacks for free. The Bryan Cranston one-man show about LBJ starts with that phone.
Really?
Yeah, it starts with that phone.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Magic. That's
Magic.
Go ahead, sir. Hello? Hello. Mr. Hager? Yes, this is Joe Hager. Joe, is your father the one that makes clothes? Yes, sir. We're all together. You all made me some real lightweight slacks that he just made up on his own, sent to me 3 or 4 months ago. It's a kind of a light brown and a light green, rather soft green and soft brown. Yes, sir. And they're real lightweight. Now, I need about 6 pairs for summer wear. Yes, sir. I want a couple, maybe 3 of the light brown, kind of a almost powder color, like a powder on a lady's face. Then there was some green, and then maybe some other light pair. If you had a blue in that or black, I'd have 1 blue and 1 black. I need about 6 pairs to wear around in the evening when I come in from work. And I need they're about a ½ an inch too tight in the waist. Do you recall the exact size? I just wanted to be sure we get them right for you. No, I don't know. You all just guessed at them. I think sent them, but wouldn't you have the measurements there? We'll find them for you. I can send you a pair. I want them a ½ an inch larger in the waist than they were before, except I want 2 or 3 inches of stuff left back in there so I can take them up. I vary 10 to 15 pounds a month. All right, sir. So leave me at least 2.5 to 3 inches in the back where I can let them out or take them up, and make these a ½ inch bigger in the waist. Make the pockets at least an inch longer. My money and my knife and everything fall out. Wait just a minute. Now, the pockets, when you sit down in the chair, the knife and your money comes out, so I needed at least another inch in the pockets. Yeah. Now, another thing, the crotch down where your nuts hang is always a little too tight. So when you make them up, give me an inch that I can let out there, because they cut me. They're just like riding a wire fence. These are the best that I've had anywhere in the United States. But when I gain a little weight, they cut me under there. So leave me, you never do have much margin there. Let's see if you can't leave me about an inch from where the zipper ends, round under my, back to my bunghole. All right, then. So I can let it out there if I need to. Okay. Now, be sure you got the best zippers in them. These are good that I have. And if you get those to me, I would sure be grateful. Where would you like to send, please? White House.
Don't you think in about 10, 20 years we're going to have a lot of new presidential phone calls we're all going to hear?
So.
No, okay, then never mind. Then never mind.
Here in Boredom, USA.
I want you to shoot yourself in the face. Okay. Where was I? He thought he heard bullets hitting his pickup.
But it was really rocks.
And Zaldi further said he was traveling to Sebastian to see a friend and was driving about 80 miles per hour to elude someone he thought was chasing him. This guy's grabbing any story.
I need 5. Pick which excuse fits this best.
I was parched and needed a Pepsi. There were bullets coming at my car. I had to see a friend.
There was a ghost in my truck.
It was the summer solstice. He had like everything he could grab.
Was the summer.
Chasing refers to when one person or animal is being followed by another in a deliberate fashion.
Okay.
That's Dan.
I know, I just made that up on the spot. And Zaldi apologized, and deputies found no signs he was impaired. He's not even drunk. He's just being an ass. It's not even his birthday. It's not even. The cop's like, "Is it your birthday? Because we're going to forgive a lot.
We'll
We'll let you go into a shed."
Nope. I'm just thirsty.
Yeah.
Deputies did find traffic citations from Melbourne police earlier in the day related to speeding and failure to show his driver license. He'd already been pulled over, and he kept driving like this, not drunk.
Australia.
And Zaldi of Merritt Island, which is a place I want to go.
Gotta be Australia.
This is Australia.
Was jailed on a reckless driving charge. It's unclear whether he got a Pepsi. And my favorite thing is, as I say, in
That's what we all
Greenlee,
wanted to know.
they always have links to other stories. So I'm
what
going
are
to read.
if you like this one, you will also like.
I know they always
This is
do
like their
and they're
Netflix.
in the middle of the
Okay, so if
story.
you like this one,
I would be Fred. Fred Greenlee was the guy I was going to say.
Will.
The comedian.
Yeah.
Will Greenlee.
Will Greenlee. I would be him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's fun.
it's fun.
Hair weave. Here, do you want more? Because you can click on hair weave hullabaloo prompts police response. Here's the other one. More. Do you want more? Because you can click on deer antler wielding eye gouging caper in Palm City.
Oh, not good. Not good.
And sometimes the simpler they are, the better. Like where there's no
Deer
explanation.
antler wielding
Eye gouging caper, which means what they used it to rob a bank.
Yeah, whenever antler and eye are in the same sentence,
Not good.
a 3D movie is going to be the victim.
I would take deer antler wielding price gouging.
I would take it. There you go. And I'd be pissed about that
Slashing
too.
prices. All right.
Okay, here's the last one. If you want
A bargain crazed deer went into a cornfield.
You won't see straight these prices.
Can you
are
do
so-
better on these pants? If you want more, this is the last one.
Yeah.
You could click on this. Letting it all hang out in Walmart's pillow aisle.
No.
I don't know. I didn't click on it. I have no clue what it means. Letting it all hang out in Walmart's pillow aisle.
Well, just even the fact that Walmart has a full aisle devoted to pillows.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, there's story 2. Dan, can you tease us what we're going to see in the third story when we come back from the break?
Something tells me that the minute you click on letting it all hang out in Walmart's pillow aisle, you just hear on your computer, ain't that America?
We will get into this final story of a disturbance at a McDonald's.
Love it. All right, Dana Gould's with us. We have one more segment. Stay with us on Dumb People Town.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town.
Hello.
Come see us, by the way, if you're in Austin at Moon Tower.
Come on, hang out. It's 3 nights of hanging out. It's
We're
one of the
doing
best festivals in the country.
A
So
live
fun.
Dumb People Town at 800 Congress on Friday at 7:30.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing our show Tag It, which I love so much, which is comedians come on stage, they do their set, and then afterwards in real time we're pitching jokes, and we come up afterwards.
Oh,
and we
what a great idea.
Isn't that
Pitch some
fun?
tags.
So
It's
we'll
really
pitch some
fun.
tags. We'll do that show in Los Angeles, and Dana Gould will have you on that
The
show.
great thing is, it's not just like a bit premise. Like, you guys are two of the best people in comedy for giving people
Yes.
tags.
I love, and you can take it or leave it, and it could be the type of thing that's like, hey, I didn't think of that, but now I have this. I'm going to go in this direction, which is always the way most writers' rooms are the most fun.
Is there anything worse than an uninvited tag?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a tag for you.
So this,
You're the bar back.
And then it sucks when it's good. You're like,
oh, damn it.
So you know what's coming when we invite you on the show, but we do offer it
And
on
we'll have
stage.
Dana Gould on the next one that we do here, which we were talking to the folks over at the Dynasty Typewriter about perhaps doing that in June. So we will hit you
yeah.
up for
I
that.
like
when
the
that happens.
DT. I'm
It's
doing a
great.
little show there April 18th.
So
I'm
great.
doing
We just did
the
the
Gold Hour podcast live.
I
hey.
love it. So also Dana Gould, a great follow on the Instagram and on the Twitter.
Oh,
Follow
yes.
Dana Gould too.
Yes.
No, very good.
But like my podcast, like my regular
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
I have found a way to do my podcast live that costs me thousands of dollars.
Oh, that's just so good.
Smart. That's just smart.
Yeah.
It's like there's
I have
a great.
a live band. There
Yeah.
are horns. It's
fun.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
I have like I'm a love vinyl and I love records, and there was a great thing in the it was like a New Yorker cartoon with the guy, just two guys standing next to like a shelf of records, and what do you say? It's
one person says, "I love the inconvenience," and the other one's like, "I love the exorbitant cost."
That's it perfectly.
That's
yeah.
it.
So there you go.
are you ready for
let's
this?
jump in.
Sent in by Ba Arajo.
That's great.
Baorao. I tried my best. Ba.
Barajo.
Yeah. A McDonald's customer in Manchester, England, called police to gripe that there were onions on his Big Mac.
By the way, McDonald's now, like, people don't love it here, but it is still a very special
yeah.
thing in Europe.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like sort of like a big
In
deal.
China, too.
Why would you call the cops You could eat all but one bite of a Big Mac, walk up and say, hey, there were onions on this. Can I get another one? They'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever. They don't give a shit.
They don't care.
What, you took no bites, found out there were onions on it, and they said, no, you have to eat it? This isn't like one of the father's office here in L.A. where they don't let you change anything on the...
Yeah, no. You called the cops.
That's the first place I call.
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm calling them. Then you get to say that a lot. While
Better
it rings.
call 'em.
That's people's favorite fucking part of calling the cops is when they get to keep looking at you and going, I'm calling them right now.
Right.
I'm calling them.
That's
I'm
the same.
dialing a social worker.
I'm dialing.
I'm dialing. A McDonald's customer in Manchester, England called to gripe. That's also, what's your emergency? I'm just here to gripe,
I just
sir.
wanna
That is
complain.
not what this is for.
Not what this
I'm
line
going to call
is.
back and gripe about you.
No.
Leslie McDonough.
That's her name.
Yes. Or
It
his.
might be a
I think
dude.
it's a him.
I
It's
think
a
it's
him.
Manchester, England. It's Leslie McDonough.
Yeah.
Leslie McDonough.
McDonough at
And
McDonald's.
he talks like Morrissey because he's from Manchester.
Why are there onions on my burger?
Leslie.
I
Me
blame
too.
foreigners for
Yes,
coming
yeah.
in this country.
Yeah, exactly. Sadly. Yeah.
Sadly.
Told emergency operators that he couldn't eat the burger because of a, quote, severe allergy, which means people who wrote this don't believe him, and claimed that he had been given, quote, the wrong meal. Unless they're quoting what he said. It's very, doesn't make no
That
sense.
says that they don't believe him.
If you have a severe allergy, you
would
need to check everything
Yeah.
yourself.
By the way, steer clear of restaurants if you have severe allergy.
If it's that
Especially
severe.
McGoddamn
That's
Donald's.
right.
Yeah, I don't think they're like, everything's cross-contaminated in McDonald's.
Yes.
Bodily fluids.
Yeah.
Everything is
Don't
cross-contaminated.
touch it.
Yes. McDonough also allegedly, this is when it's dumb people town, also allegedly challenged the manager to a fist fight over
There you
a
go.
food
Oh,
dispute.
yeah. It's England.
The fact, I don't like the fight as much as I like the challenge.
Yeah.
Like, would you want to fight me about it? No, I don't. But come on, let's fight. I challenge you.
Nope.
And
Come on.
It's more of a bare knuckles brawl.
Yeah.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? That
Yes.
feels very.
I don't envision a white glove slapped across someone's face.
That also would be one of the times if I'm in this confrontation where I just start, if it's this ridiculous, I'm just repeating what the person says. You want to fight me over onions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to you would like to fight because there's onions on a burger. I can remake you in a microwave in 10 seconds.
That's right.
Supposedly, David Letterman, Quentin Tarantino threatened David Letterman one time about something.
Yes.
I think I have this right.
Okay.
And my friend was the writer at Letterman and was in the office of Letterman, called up and said, okay, so here's what we'll do. You fly out to New York. You can get picked up at the airport. We'll have a car. We'll drive you to my. You can stop at a hotel first if you want to freshen up. You know, and then you come over to my office, and then we can fight.
And I think David Letterman could take him.
Dave was
He's a
wearing
big
wrestling
guy.
shoes.
He's a
Tall
big
dude.
guy.
Big guy.
Squirrely.
Yeah, and he's just kind of like a wiry Indiana man.
I remember
But
Tarantino.
it's just like breaking that down.
Like
It's
making it slower, extending it out.
and then we can fight.
Right. Making it that fucking perfunctory.
He used to say stuff. My friend was a writer. He used to say stuff like, we don't need to do this. We could just get a contract, get some vulcanized rubber, and just talk about they could make tires instead. But he had it all gamed out. You get some vulcanized rubber, you get a foundry. We're out in the Meadowlands, we get a foundry.
We don't have to live like this.
We don't have to do this.
This is too hard.
Challenged the manager to a fist fight over the food dispute. Officers asked him to leave the restaurant, but he went to the ground and grabbed a cop's leg. And as they tried to stand him up, give me the leg. Let go of the leg. Take the leg, Johnny.
That's like, it feels like a protest. Someone's protesting outside of a factory.
Inebriation,
Yeah.
I think, is an element of this story.
Maybe.
Right. And you never notice, you guys ever, like, I'm sure we all get really mad, but you don't, like, when something really pisses you off, it doesn't stay longer than, like, 10 minutes.
No,
And it's not like, I mean, obviously you have fights or things that will make you mad the whole day, but usually an inconvenience can sometimes super annoy you really fast. But for him to wait long enough for the cops to get there
And then
still be
keep the
mad.
thing up.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
keep it
And
going.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Alcohol.
McDonough also spit in an officer's face.
No, never a good idea.
That's- By the way, I think that is the most.
Oh, you're getting punched. You do that
that
to
is
me?
the most pejorative thing you can do to anybody.
Even in England.
Even in
there. Even
Especially
there.
there.
The investigation
And,
also...
and in England, you spit on the other side of someone's face.
There you go. At Sklar
They
Brothers.
spit on their bottoms.
The investigation also indicated that McDonough had left a work event prior to going to the fast food restaurant.
Work event.
Yeah, it's a work event.
Pre-Christmas party.
Liquid lunch. McDonough, who admitted to drinking 6 cans of lager prior to the melee.
Yeah,
melee.
big.
Those are big cans.
So, this is my favorite part. I almost cut it off. I'll read it all together. McDonough, who also admitted to drinking 6 cans of lager prior to the melee, was supposed to meet with his wife for their anniversary.
Oh, now what's going to happen?
And by the way, I'm sure that came up late in all the descriptions.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
You're probably wondering why I'm not with you in the delivery room.
He decided to grab a bite on his way home,
I stopped
however.
at McDonald's and now I'm in jail.
It's not at McDonald's to get into a fight.
Yeah.
You'll never
Just
guess
spit
what
in the
happened.
cop's face.
What year of anniversary is McDonald's?
I think that's the 7th.
The 7th or the 18th.
You know how you love those little packets of barbecue sauce without any food to put them in?
Yes.
I tried, honey. I
tried.
Is it marriage about trying?
McDonough admitted in court to assault as well as drunken disorderly conduct. We will end this episode on this. How old is Leslie McDonough?
Okay.
Dana Gould, do you want to go first, Tig, or third? Dana Gould, tell me, sir.
I'm going to go for, I envisioned a guy 32 years old.
32 years old from Dana Gould.
Jay?
40.
40 from Jason Sloan.
40. Anniversary 40.
51.
51.
Yep. I don't know, the first story where he was 66 kind of
What'd you say, Dana?
31.
31.
31.
And Randy?
I said 51.
And
Jason
40. You said 40. Okay. One of you is in the right decade,
All right, good.
and one of you is only 2 years old.
All right.
Very close.
Okay.
Townies, join me in this game. Get your answers in right now, because Leslie McDonough, who left a work event to spend his anniversary with his wife, but wanted to stop at McDonald's and get in a fist fight
Over onions on his
over
bird.
onions. And I hate onions. I'll eat them in anything, but as a rule,
I was a manager,
I'm good without them.
If I was a manager who was challenging me to fight, I'd be like, "Are you allergic to nuts? Because I put these nuts all over your bird."
What if I'm the manager?
It's a great comeback.
It is a great comeback. But what if the
Do you have a
manager,
nut allergy?
when he goes, you want to fight? And he just picks up onions and rubs them on his hands. Severe allergy, right? Severe allergy? Let's
I like
go,
those
motherfucker.
kung fu movies where they put their hands in
the
glass.
glass.
It's just like straight into the cut onions.
Straight into a box of onions.
Okay, here we go. I've loved having you on, sir.
Yes.
We will end the episode here because Leslie McDonough is 53 years old. 53.
Old guy.
years
Old-
old.
This has been a very old guy show today,
It's been an
and
old
I
guy
love
show.
it so much. Hey, if you're out
Cranky old dudes.
in this country and you can see Dana Gould and Bobcat
Do
Goldthwait
it.
show, it's called the Two-Headed
Show with Two Heads.
Show with Two Heads. I want to
Love
call it Two-Headed Shows, but I like
Whatever works.
the Hilarious Wilburys.
Hilarious Wilburys.
Go out and see it, and oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.